What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. This is Josh here checking in on you out there in YouTube land. YouTube, how are you doing? Happy Monday. How have you been? I've missed you. Welcome into the new podcast space. I moved out here a little bit earlier, so I've been kind of just throwing this stuff together. I don't have all the lights set up. I'm going to get it dialed in, but for now, I'm so happy to have you here. It's kind of a trip to actually have a desk and a stable area for the camera, the microphone, everything's correctly set up at the moment. I got everything labeled. It's pretty cozy, so hopefully it's not too echoey. This is my first time recording out here. It's a little chilly. That's the only thing I will say, but I like being cold. I am warm-blooded? I don't know. Tonight we're going to take it easy though. We're just talking about Terrifier 3. Watched it last night. Also watched Smile 2. I don't know if I'm going to review that. We'll see. If people want me to, I will, but it was fun. I think it scared my wife. It was a great theater experience. It was definitely super damn loud, but just a little bit different from what I was expecting. But not different was Terrifier 3 and all of the outrage going on with Terrifier 3. People leaving the cinema, running out. Don't let your kids watch this. Everybody, Ketchup Only Ken is just pissed off and he's leaving. Let's break it down. Thanks for being here. Going into the latest installment in Damien Leone's Terrifier franchise, I was strangely nervous, and my expectations initially were low. After all, it's gotta be hard to top the cinematic phenomenon of Terrifier 2 that chewed up 2 hours and 45 minutes of screen time. But to turn the newest chapter into a Christmas movie and tear down all the walls of the traditions, music, and pageantry had to be hard to top. Well, lucky for me, Terrifier 3 goes hard. Way hard, and nothing and no one is off limits. But that doesn't mean everything works, and we're automatically greenlighting the next film, cliffhangers and all, but here we are. Now, without spoiling anything, people might need to calm down a little bit with all of the warnings and outrage for this film. Is it intense? Yeah. Is it over the top? Yeah, for sure. Is it extremely mean-spirited and nasty to everyone and everything? 100%. But if you're going into a Terrifier movie, this is what you're expecting and you're used to at this point. Extreme gore, long shots of cruelty, and barbaric severing of limbs and family members is par for the course. Attacking the holiday season is a different animal altogether, and I'd imagine for most Backdoor Bettys, Molly Mormons, Maple Mildreds, and Ketchup Only Kens, they're walking out of the theater because they're following the hype train and maybe they're suffering from some sort of clown FOMO. Well, good. This is not a film that's made for you. This is made for the Halloween season. It's made to, kind of remind you of films like Saw and Paranormal Activity, where you think October and you automatically think there's a new film coming. What I will say though is this is not my favorite in the franchise. It's actually probably my least. This felt a little bit flat for me while also being a lot shorter than part 2. The nativity and holiday gimmick kind of took me out of the film and kind of took me out of the nastiness a little bit. There are some awesome scenes with Art the Clown doing his thing as Old Saint Nick, but I don't know if it just kind of dulled the violence and didn't totally land. Still, Art definitely ups the ante in the kill count with inspired ways to slaughter everyone, including youngsters, but a lot of the bloodshed and a lot of visceral violence actually happens off screen. I was expecting to be a little bit nervous, maybe a little bit queasy and sick to my stomach, because I heard I was not going to be able to handle it, kind of like the bedroom scene from part 2. But the violence, it's so schlocky that it kind of makes it more comedic than hard to look at. Still, there's enough gore here to paint a barn, and I love seeing Aunt Vicky back on screen. I just think that maybe the hype set me up to lose my lunch and be seriously disturbed and kind of feel bad about myself, but it's fine. Ho ho ho, the middle's a little slow. Whoa. So, where do I stand on Terrifier as a franchise, and what do I think about it? I'm going to go ahead and say that I actually think the first Terrifier is my bread and butter. That's my favorite of this entire series, and then I go part 2. Part 2 was, while being a little bit supernatural, it still took a lot of chances. It was still really fun. It was a very different movie than part 1. Part 3, you can see everything on screen. You can tell that he's having the time of his life. There's a lot of good things to like about this, but it just all of that holiday cheer and all that holiday spirit, there's a lot of time between death. There's a lot of like safety in this movie where you can just kind of be going along, and all of a sudden, okay, we have a shower scene. We've got a scene with some rats. We've got a scene with, Aunt Vicky. We've got Jonathan. We've got a lot of the same characters that we're used to, but it just doesn't have the same intensity for me as part 1 or part 2. That doesn't mean that it's not a great movie, because it's beautiful to look at, as gross as that sounds. It still works. It does still work. So I'm going to go ahead and say that you should definitely watch this movie. This is going to be a great, kind of pizza party movie, because compared to 2, it's a lot tamer, I think. I can actually handle pretty much everything in this film. I don't know, man. I don't know. It does not need to be a Christmas movie. I don't think that works. I think it's very off-putting. Not because I love Christmas or something. It just, the gimmick, it just feels a little tired. Now, there is some great cameos and some Santa Clauses in here that I actually really like. I'm trying not to spoil anything as well. This is a spoiler-free review, but yeah, the film, it tried to do so much while also, I don't know. I still liked it though. I'm going to go ahead and say my rating out of 10. I'm going to give this thing a solid 6.5, 7 out of 10. All right, I'm saying 7 out of 10, where I think the first Terrifier is an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I think part 2 is probably very similar, 8 out of 10. Part 3, 7. Doesn't make it a bad film. I'm stuttering. I still really liked it. I'm going to buy it on 4K, of course. It's got plenty of, mean-spiritedness, and it's definitely going to shock most people, but yeah, the gimmick, man, the holidays, we didn't need that. I'd rather see Thanksgiving, I think, than Christmas. It's Halloween. I don't know. That's just me, though. All Hallows Eve art, Christmas art. Like, it's just not the same dude, not the same movie. But yeah, I do think you should check it out. I don't know. So folks, that is my Terrifier 3 spoiler-free review. You want to hear me talk about Smile 2? Yeah, in the back? There? Yeah? Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more from me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and then follow me on social media. I'm stoked to be out here, dude. I'm going to get like an actual mouse. I've been doing all of my editing just with my finger. It takes forever, dude. Luckily, I'm a guitar player. I play, my hands are relatively strong all the time, but I think I'm going to be able to actually get into this setup, bring you better stuff, better content, more effects, more weirdness, more live streams, more podcasts, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see more, make sure you're following along. Thanks so much for being here. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.